Hey guys, CRL Rosberg back at it again for another video. This time we're back for, surprisingly, another commentary. Didn't think I was going to be doing this again, but I thought we're back for the Thrive event, the Thrive Masters event, hashtag 002. Thought about wasn't going to do a commentary really, and then I decided last minute really to just say fuck it. Might as well hop on the mad ting editing bandwagon and hook up the Razer headset to a iPhone to record my audio, and here we are now. This is qualifying for Bahrain. This is the qualifying event. If you guys have watched the previous episode, you'll know how this works, but I'm going to try and quickly run over it. There's going to be two races. One has short qualifying and a 50% race. The other one is a 25% race. The weather is scripted, so obviously this is Bahrain. It's light cloud conditions though, and Malaysia, which is the second race, is in the wet. So how this works: race 1, the top 10, the order of top 10 will go through to the race 2, and the finishing order of race 1 will be the starting order for race 2. Race 1 basically means nothing apart from the fact it's a qualifying race, and race 2 is the race where you can win. If you're in the podium positions, you can win some money. So if you're first, you can win £50. If you're second, you can win £15. And if you are third, you can win £10. Anyway, qualifying, I'm going to try and get back to that whole thing maybe in a bit. But as you can see, we're actually down in our first sector. We're actually on the soft tyres. I wanted to try something different in comparison to everyone else. I thought I could try and take advantage of everyone's more worn tyres at the start of the race, and then at the end I could come back. So we need a good qualifying here. I think my PB was I'm trying to think of what a lap time is around here, because I've actually forgotten. A 28.3 I think is what I did. I only did one qualifying run in practice, and that was in Grand Prix. So not a lot of confidence through here. I mean, I knew roughly the braking point. I think turn 1 I kind of missed it a little bit, but that aside, as you see, we're going into the final corner now, breaking 150 meter board, 100 meter board. A little bit of a tank slap on the exit, but that's all good. We're currently in P10 and we're going to P9 for this qualifying session. So we'll be starting in P9 for Bahrain. As you can see, I should have probably run through the guides that are actually doing this, but as you can see, the Flying Finn, guys like the Flying Finn, Tira Martin, Alonso, Evo, more so, and a couple of AOR guys are here. As you can see, Gorge Crab's the AOR reserve as well. OMG, it's Joe, and Jason, of course. Can't forget about those guys. But anyway, we are prepared for the 5 red lights for the Thrive eSports Masters event, and it's lights out and away we go. The lights, well, we didn't hesitate with the lights there. Getting a pretty decent start, already going past Hayden, and is getting a better start than Joe in Apex, just in front of us, going around the outside of them, trying not to hit the back of Jason, coming around turn 1. We're already into P6. It's been a fantastic start. We've completely lost the rear end out of turn 2. That's gone completely pear-shaped, and we've dropped from P9, we've gone from P9 to P6, back to P9, trying to go around the outside of Hayden, but we're being pushed off by Gorge, as we've lost the rear end and hit Gorge again. So we're now back to P10, so square one all over again. We're going to have to try and remake up all the time that we've just lost. Trying to go around the outside of Gorge Crab. We tried to have a look on Hayden, but realistically there was no real opportunity there, and he's cost himself P9 there. So we knew that we were quicker than Hayden. Well, I knew that I was quicker than Hayden, and I thought I could be quicker than Apex, and I knew that I could be quicker than Joe later on in the race. So I needed to make up the places really quickly. As you see, the Flying Finn's already running away with it. I knew I needed to stay as as close to the front as to the top group as possible, because I knew that the tyres would come back to me at the end. I'm going to be aiming for the 150 metre board, but it's just not there, and we've completely missed the braking point by about 50 metres. There was just, the 150 metre board just didn't exist, so I was looking for the 150 metre board. I was looking for the first metre board that I saw. It was the wrong one. So that's gone really, really pear-shaped. So now we're back to P10. So from P9 to P6, back to P9, up to P. Well, yeah, it was making a move for P8, and now we're back to P10. So it's not going well at the moment. We are a good few seconds away from the top group. So remember, this is the qualifying race. So where we finish in this race is where we'll start for race 2 in Malaysia, which is in heavy rain as well. So 60 Gorch seems to be a little bit all over the place, not gonna lie. Need to find a place to overtake, and we got to make sure that we don't lose too much time battling other cars, because like I said, like this is a race against the clock really. I knew that I believed I was on a technically better strategy in comparison to most of everyone in front of me really, because everyone behind me is on the alternate strategy, I think, apart from, it was either Amazed or Jamie, I'm not quite sure on that one. But right in the back of Gorch Crab now for P9. Like I said, he's a little bit all over the place. He's going defensive. I'm not really sure why he's going defensive. It's a little bit weird. But getting a good run out the final corner as Tyrrell Martin sets the fastest lap of the race. So trying to keep the Flying Finn honest. In the slipstream of Gorch Crab, got the DRS, slipstream, rich mix. We're going to pop it to the inside. He's not going to defend it. Braking a little bit early. Gorch is kind of just turned into us as he then loses the rear end. As now Gorch touches us again. We lose the rear end and kind of shit ourselves. Gorch Crab, we're going side by side with him. He's on the super soft tyres, but his tyres are going to start to drop off now. We have the inside of the corner. We're going to try to squeeze him out. We kind of lost the rear end as well, so pinching Gorch to the outside of the track, but no real harm done there. Next up, Hayden, as you can see just in front of us, he makes a bit of a mistake that's cost him about I'd say about half a second, about maybe 0.3 to half a second. So the gap is coming down. We're in the slipstream. We've got the DRS again on Hayden. Going to look to the inside, are we? Yes, we are. Late dive to the inside, having to drop down to first gear to try and get the car stopped. He's got a compromised run through turn 1 and 2. We're on his outside. We've got them all flowing run, but I think he's just letting us past as well. So cheers, I guess. So next up, Objits Joe and TR Apex, who've actually been battling it out for a lot of this race. I think since the very start really, but as you see, Joe's dropped off a little bit. Joe, in our sights, we had a bit of a battle, I guess, in AOR. We've had a good amount of history, I guess, if we go back to the good old RGL days and CRL as well, back in Season 4. But right in the back of Joe, I think he's going to peel into the pits, thankfully, because fucking hell, he just started red barring and he lagged a little bit, so thankfully he pit that lap. TR Apex now just in front of us. This is basically the pit window as well, so it's expected that these guys would start pitting. As you can see, everyone into the pits ahead of us, apart from the Flying Finn, who's probably just trying to make sure he doesn't get another puncture at Bahrain. He's already had 2 in AOR, and he's losing the rear end massively, and that's lost us probably about half a second, if not more. Just that little mistake. But the Flying Finn probably just making sure, going as long as possible, trying not to get a puncture at the end of the race. He's had many a puncture at Bahrain, so probably just trying to keep his wits about. He should come out in P3 because TI Extreme is going to be in front of him. I'm not sure if we're going to... Okay, yeah, we do capture it just about. But as you can see, at the end of this lap, Extreme is still in P2. We're going to the end of lap 12 for our pit window. The tyres, although in the middle part of the first stint, they hold up a lot better than the Super Softs. They do have their drop-off point at lap 12, with, as you can see, 82% on the rear left. So if I wanted to go a little bit longer, probably would have been risking the puncture. So it's a good thing we've decided to pit this lap. As you can see, errors with my recording right there. But into the pits, we're going to be pitting for the mediums because I can't go on another set of softs even if I wanted to. And supers obviously won't make it to the end, so we're on the same time as everyone else. About 2 to 3, in Joe's case about 5 laps fresher tyres, so about 4 laps actually I think. So we've actually come out just in front of Gorge Crab as well. So thankfully we're not going to be stuck behind him again, just randomly doing a little bit of a weave there. So back in P9 we are about 2 seconds behind TR Apex, who's also behind Omjit's Joe, who I'm guessing got the undercut on him. But as you skip to the end of lap 14, trying to regain time on these guys, and as you can see, Joe defending massively as we set the fastest lap of the race as well. So we've got pace at the moment, out of that DRS as well. So we're going to be wanting to make a move on these guys as soon as possible. As I think I'm blowing up your ears right there, so apologies about that. But as you can see, Apex once again trying to look for a move on Joe. These guys getting highly aggressive with each other, and Joe defending his position quite well. As we can get right on the back of TR Apex, but now this is going to start to lose us time. This is not what I wanted in this race. This is the thing I really didn't want to happen, and to get stuck behind like maybe two or 3 cars that were battling, and I wouldn't be able to make a move because I'm the 3rd car in the train, and it's mainly these 2 that are messing each other about really, and they're costing themselves a lot of time. Once again, Apex tries to go around the outside of Joe. He completely misses his braking point, and this is the moment that we need to capitalise on. Going straight up the inside at the very first opportunity, we make a little bit of contact, and my car like moves over to the left as well. So that's given us an awful run, but we've got the inside for the hairpin right-hander, and we're going to try and squeeze him up, but it's not very needed as Gorge Crab is trying to join in on the shenanigans as well. But we managed to cover off, I mean take P8 away from Apex, he was battling for P7 and now he's down in P9. He could be coming under pressure from Gorge Crab. But as you can see, Omjit's Joe's now the one in front of us there. We've already seen that he's defending very hard at the moment. And I know there's no love lost between us after Australia or even previous events. Going around the outside of Joe into turn 1, we're going to brake later. We've got a lot fresher tyres than him. And going around his outside, we've hung him right round him, so pretty decent move. But Joe's going to have a slight better run. We're going to just defend the inside just in case. We're going to slightly move over on him. He's got the racing line though, he's broken a lot later than us, but yeah, he's not going to be able to make that one stick. We've got the inside, and that is job done for the moment, but he could come back at us after these couple of corners, but he's not going to be able to do that one. We've maintained P7, or I keep saying we've maintained position, but we've taken P7. Extremes is the car in front of us, but he has not actually pit yet. I've just realised I've said quite a lot, so apologies for that. But Jason is now the car in front of us. He's having a battle with Evian more so, and we set the fastest lap of the race again, so we've got pace at the moment. In comparison to guys like the Flying Finn, we've set a faster lap time than them. Obviously, the Flying Finn isn't battling anyone, but of course it is the Flying Finn, so I'm just going to take that accolade for myself. But of course, some guys would pit just to go for fastest lap. As you can see, there's a car pulling off into the pit lane that's going to gift us a free position. There's Tyrrell Martin, who pit a lap earlier than the Flying Finn, so clearly puncture-wise, it's not gone to plan for Tyrrell Martin, and what was looking like a podium position is now potentially going to be top 6, just about top 6, top 7. But now, all eyes are on EVR more so. We were closing them in by about half a second a lap, but there were a couple of laps where we gained over a second, so that's really helped us. Also, pretty good driver from what I've raced with him. Not much though, but as you can see, we've made a mistake. We clipped the curb on the inside of turn 11, I think it is, of turn 10. And that's game over, really. We're not going to be getting P4. We were about 9/10 a lap quicker than him right at the end. So we were 1.1 seconds behind at the line. So what could have been, we were low on fuel anyway, so no real massive worries there, I guess. Coming over P5 from P10 at one point in that race and way behind the field. Without those mistakes, it potentially could have been P2, especially with our fresher tyres, so it's a bit disappointing really, but Terry Martin come over P6. So the order for race 2 is going to be the Flying Finn, STSF on Alonso, Jason, more so myself, Martin, OG it's Joe, Hayden, Apex and Extremes, but Joe actually can't race, so Corchcram will actually make it into the top 10. But now it's time for the decider at Malaysia. This is the moment that we were waiting for. About an hour's worth of practice, waiting a whole month. I'd say an hour's worth of practice, an hour for the qualifying race. We waited a whole month to try and get into this position after the disappointment last time, as you can see. Looking backwards and forwards, trying to build the hype, showing the excitement for whatever reason. But this is it. This is the decider, the race that could win us £50, 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go. We get a pretty average start. Morso doesn't get a fantastic second phase, so we're going to drive past him. The Flying Finn still leads the way ahead of Alonso. Jason's on the outside, just trying to keep his nose clean. We're going to look to the inside, starting from P5. Alonso ran wide, he cuts off Jason, almost making contact with me as well, as Jason's pushing us slightly wide, probably just with understeer, but we've managed to take P3, so we're getting 2 places already. And as you can see, the Flying Finn and the STSF on Alonso battling hard going into turn 4. Sally is going to squeeze out his brother a little bit, but it's all good. They're still nose to tail as well. And we've got ourselves right in the mix there as well, with Jason and also I think it could be Martin actually. Of course, Martin was starting from P6 as well. So we've had a good start, and now of course you've got the whole argument, the Panto P in the wet. Of course, this is when the guys have to practice for these conditions. They're obviously going to be a lot better than when they go into a league scenario and they obviously don't fully practice the wet conditions. So everyone's probably going to be really even at the moment. Considering I didn't do lots and lots of Malaysia practice, this could be a good race, as Sonich runs a little bit wide. I'm going to end up calling him Sonich on this, because calling him Alonso or STSF1 Alonso is just going to be a mouthful at CBA with that. The Flying Finn leads the first lap from pole position ahead of Sonich, myself, Martin, and I think Jason and Morso in P5. Oh, actually it's Jason and Martin actually having a go at each other around out of turn 1 and 2. Martin's actually a bit of a Malaysia specialist, and adding the fact it's wet as well, this could scream out Terra Martin territory right here. As you can see, Sonich running a little bit wide again, but you can see that Sally and Sonich, they've got really good pace at the moment, and I was a little bit worried because I knew I was in the prize money positions, so I didn't really want to throw anything away. As you can see, we actually set purple final sector, but the guys in front actually set faster laps than us. But I didn't want to push too much, because I knew that if I perhaps tried to overtake a Sonich and try and aim for Sally, I knew that I could end up making a mistake, and that could cost me everything. So in my head, I was thinking that this isn't a league race. I'm not fighting for points. This is kind of a different scenario in that sense. Perhaps if this was AOR, I would probably attack Sonich a lot harder than what I'm doing right now. But of course, I'm just trying to take it easy, not push too much. But at the same time, I want to kind of stay with them in case they make a mistake and or run off the track or something. The wheel blows up. Whatever happens, I want to be there to capitalise on their mistakes. And that's going to be what Martin will want to do as well. But Martin is a little bit of a distance behind us. But as you can see, we're all the top, well, even that could be like top 6, all on the main straight. So, you know, if guys start battling at the front, this could be like a 6-man train. And I'm not sure how I feel about that one, I'm not going to lie. But as you can see, Son's running wide at the entry of the corner, I run wide at about the middle of it. But of course it's all going to work out for him, as you can see. Keeping an eye on Martin as well, because of course, like I said, he is the Malaysia specialist. He tops the time trial here, I think, in the dry and in the wet. So, you know, you can't, although Martin's in P4, you can't write him off at the moment, because it's Tyrrell Martin. You just don't write him off. But as you can see, Sully's kind of streaking away from Sanchez. You can see Martin actually runs wide there. Costly mistake that. 1.2 seconds behind, and we're about a second behind Alonso Sonic as well. Skipping around to lap 9, as you can see, the Flying Fin has pretty much pulled away. We're still trying to sit pretty in P3, but we're starting to try and close in a little bit on Sonic. To I know, you never know, it could be bullshit, but what I learned after the race is that Sonic actually had some sort of sound glitch, so he couldn't actually hear his car. It was like a Formula E car, he told me. So who knows, it could be, well, maybe that could result into something, we don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. But to see, coming out the penultimate corner, we don't quite get a great run, but as you can see, Sonic runs really wide, clearly missing his braking point or locking up or something. And he did that a couple of times before that, so I knew that he's struggling, potentially struggling. Maybe that has something to do with his sound glitch, but he could potentially be struggling with braking for that final corner. So that's something that we need to take advantage of when the opportunity arises. So as you can see, skipping further around lap 10, Alonso Sonic, she's wide again. So he's making mistakes now. I'm not sure if this is something to do with the tyres, sound glitch, or perhaps just pressure in general. But we're now getting the adrenaline. Well, I say the adrenaline. The hands are becoming a bit sweaty. The heart's beating faster. This is potentially 5 extra pounds that could go into a back pocket. See, he loses the rear end again at the penultimate corner, but I don't quite get as good a run out of there as he does. But see, he's wide again, but now we've got to try and take advantage. 2 laps in a row, we can't just keep allowing him to do that. But he gets a better run, taking out a wider line. But we have got the slipstream. He's trying to defend the position now. He's moving to the outside of the track. We've got the slipstream. We're gaining and gaining. Are we going to look to the inside? No, we're not, because Sonch defends it. Breaking at the 100-meter board. Is Sonch going to go a bit wide? He's going to try and cover us off. We've gone for the switchback on him. We've making a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact. And that's probably the end of it right for this lap anyway. Sonch successfully defending the position. Really good driving. I think, of course, he's red barring. I'm trying to pull off the dummy. He's red barring, so I was aware that there could be desync as well, so that's why I didn't go for any dramatic lunge on him. As you can see, coming to the second part of lap 11, you can see he's wide again. He's running wide in a lot of places, so this is what we need to take advantage of. We can't just keep allowing him to make these mistakes. We're building towards the end of this race. Let's see, lap 12 now, coming to the final corner, trying to just keep a braking point nicely. We've run wide, but Sonch run even wider, trying to make a really late apex and get on the power as early as possible. This could be a final opportunity right here. It's now or never, really. Sonch is defending the inside. We're going to late dive to the outside, 100-meter board. Sonch, she's missed the braking point. We're going to try and take advantage up the inside. Can we cover it off? We're going to give him the space on the inside. Perhaps a little bit too nice, but we're going to make contact once again out of turn 2 and throughout turn 3. And he's defended the position again, so we know he's vulnerable now. We know that he's making mistakes at turn 1 and at the final corner. So we just need to stay close to him, as close as possible. Coming to the end of lap 13. The last lap is almost upon us, but Sonch is wide again, and this time he's off the track, and we've taken P2, but the reason he's run off track is actually because he's got a puncture. So he's clearly, with the sound glitch, he's pushed too hard, and that's actually gifted Tyrrell Martin a place on the podium and a chance for some free cash. But as you can see, the Flying Finn, he's absolutely run away with me and Sonj eventually battling as well. You know, there was no real catching the Flying Finn. So at this point, I really just wanted to just keep it calm, not make any mistakes, just really chill out a little bit. As you can see, now P3 Jason, who finished second in the very first Thrive eSports event. So he's now to P3 now. I know it was more so Martin that was behind him, and Martin, it's not gone well on this final lap. You know, he had the gift of getting P3, and it's all gone wrong for Tyrrell Martin. But as he's approaching the final corner, the Flying Finn, Shock Horror is going to win another race, and he's going to bag himself £50. So straight off, and just to say congratulations to the Flying Finn. But we're going to come around the final corner. We've taken it very, very easy on this final lap. But a little bit of a weave of the wheel. We're going to come home in P2. That's £15 for us. Kind of making up for what happened, for the disaster that was Silverstone last month. Jason also coming home in P3, so congrats to him. Shock Horror, the Flying Finn, was going to win. A little bit gutting now that if he didn't turn up, we could have bagged ourselves a lot more money, but it's just how it is. But of course, I'm going to have to just send my condolences to Sonaj, who, you know, that he got cheated out of P2 potentially. But sometimes it's just how it goes. But we're going to be wrapping up the video now. As you can see, those are the results. But I want to say thank you to Thrive eSports for setting up the Masters event again. It's a really well organised event, and I would highly recommend taking part if you can. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video here. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new for more big racing content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Cheers.